In today's video, we're chatting about the top 5 strategies I follow on every single Webflow build to ensure that I can deliver high quality marketing websites to my clients in a timely manner. If you're a Webflow developer, I estimate that by following the strategies I'll lay out in this video, you could save anywhere between 10 to 20 hours of development time per project. And if you're a prospective client looking to potentially hire a Webflow agency or freelancer, then everything I'm talking about in this video, you can use to vet potential project partners to ensure that they're going to be able to deliver your website in a timely, stress-free manner. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, my name is Bailey Canning. I'm an independent marketing strategist and Webflow developer based out of beautiful Boulder, Colorado. As an independent creative, I primarily work with service-based businesses to help them generate more leads, sign their ideal clients, and ultimately increase revenue. And on this YouTube channel, I regularly put out videos all about branding, web design and development, and digital marketing strategies. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, then definitely subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any content. I'm putting out one video per week at minimum. And with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's just get into it. Quick note of clarification before we break down the top 5 strategies you can use to speed up your Webflow build. When I talk about building websites faster, I'm not talking about cutting corners or sacrificing on quality just to get the website up and running by a certain time frame. Rather, what I am talking about is following a smart, efficient process and using the proper tools that are going to speed up your development workflow and not make you repeat multiple steps in the process. That is ultimately going to allow you to build websites faster and, I would argue, result in a higher quality final product. What I tell my clients is that a website build, at least a phase 1 build, where we just want to get in the essential pages, features, and functionality that's going to allow your company's website to serve as a marketing engine for future growth. All we want to do is spend 1/4 of business max. Somewhere between 60 to 90 days or 2 to 3 months is really the only amount of time you want to be investing in this initial phase 1 build, because the reason being is that during the development process, the website is not able to serve as a driver of new business while it's in development. So we really want to get the website up and running within 1/4 of business, and then right away start implementing some sort of online marketing strategy to increase website traffic and generate more leads and conversions. And then also, while that is happening, we can of course do a phase 2 and phase 3 build concurrently to add more pages, more features, more functionality, etc. Ideally, we only want to spend 1/4 of business designing and developing the website. The great benefit of that is that yes, it can be expensive to invest in a website upfront, but if you follow a smart online marketing strategy right after launch, then you could easily recoup the initial investment costs in that first quarter of business, and then everything after that is just going to be positive ROI. Now, the first thing you need to have in place to ensure a smart, efficient Webflow build is to actually have developed UX and UI wireframes in the design phase, preferably using a tool like Figma, which has become the industry standard for UI and UX design. This way, as a developer, you have a blueprint to follow and you have designs that you need to develop rather than putting them together on the fly. So before I ever start any Webflow development project, step 1 is to have UX wireframes of every single page on the website. So this way we know the entire content structure of every page. Then we're going to have UI wireframes, UI standing for user interface. These UI wireframes represent the completed final design of the website. In my experience, it's not worth putting together 15 or so UI wireframes if we're going to have a 15-page site in this example, because it just takes way too much time. Ultimately, what I have found to be much more efficient, coming from my past agency experience, is instead to develop a UX wireframe for every single page on the website so you actually know what the content structure is. On those UX wireframes, you're also going to want to have completed copy, which is something I take care of for all of my clients. So when it comes time to actually develop the site, the copy is already done and completed and reviewed by the client, and all I need to do is copy and paste it in, so we're never worrying about copy once development has begun. And then say, for example, you're developing a 10-page website. What I would recommend is developing 3 UI wireframes, so 3 fully mocked up pages which represent the final design for those pages, and then use that as a style guide for the website so that you can then design them in Webflow. And in my experience, this has dramatically cut down on development time, but as we'll be talking about a little bit later, I still give my clients the ability ability to leave their feedback on those new designs once they see them in Webflow. And then we also have a revisions process after that. So they're still able to influence the design direction, even though we are not starting those designs in Figma. The next thing, and this is probably the biggest time saver on the list today, and that is going to be using some sort of development framework / component library. Now, I did a video on this channel recently talking about my experience with the Rayloom library. That seems to be by far the most popular library in the Webflow development community. Essentially, a component library includes a bunch of pre-designed layouts and elements and a bunch of other sections that are commonly used on websites. So instead of needing to develop these regularly repeating sections you commonly see on websites like 2 or 3 column blog post grids, hero sections, center text sections, etc., you get the idea. Instead of developing that from scratch every single time, rather with these component libraries, you can simply browse their library, copy the component, and paste it right into the Webflow library. What makes Rayloom really great is that it's unstyled. The designs are top notch, everything is automatically responsive, and there's great documentation. Now, there's other component libraries out there. Systemflow is one I used to use, but doesn't seem to be supported anymore. I've heard people say good things about Mast. I really recommend just checking out the Webflow site and finding a framework that you think works for you. But long story short, Rayloom has been invaluable for saving me anywhere between 10 to 20 hours of development time, making sure that the site is essentially automatically responsive, although you still need to do your due diligence, but at least it's responsive out of the box versus you needing to make every single section responsive on your own manually. And they have a lot of really great designs. So actually, I've been able to level up the designs that I'm currently offering to my clients. There's a lot of cool interactive effects and animations. So a component library is absolutely essential for your Webflow builds today. Honestly, I can't even believe I used to develop websites from scratch in Webflow without this. It is that much of a game changer. Today, I would never start a Webflow project if I didn't have some sort of component library to work from. The next thing that is essential for every Webflow build to ensure a smooth process is going to be to have a well thought out, extremely detailed development checklist. Now, I don't know about you, but I am definitely a strong believer in the adage that failure to plan is planning to fail. And if you haven't took the time to sit down before a build and map out a development plan roughly in terms of what order you're going to develop the pages, what order you're going to implement certain features, etc. That is a pro tip I got from the Webflow masterclass made by Flux Academy. And ever since that, I always take about 30 to 60 minutes to sit down and write out in a Google Doc what the development plan is going to look like, and then I roughly follow that from there. The second thing to really take the development plan to the next level is going to be to have a super detailed and thorough SOP. So basically a standard operating procedure for every single website you develop for your clients. So instead of spinning your wheels at the start of every Webflow project, doing the same things over and over again in terms of getting the backend settings set up correctly, taking care of miscellaneous technical things like redirects, SEO, site speed, not to mention all the steps you should be taking during the quality assurance and launch process so that you don't harm your client's online reputation by having a website launch that goes completely off the rails. Really, you have to have a detailed development checklist going into every project. So this way, you just follow the checklist and then the project is much smoother, and this eliminates so much mental overhead because you have a step-by-step list of everything you need to be following. So I put together my own list in Basecamp, which I've detailed on a video before in this channel, so I'll also link that here. But recently, in the updated Webflow Masterclass, I came across the Notion checklist that's used by Flow Gurus, and honestly, I'm going to be looking into implementing that in all my projects going forward because it is super detailed. It walks you through literally every minute task that goes into developing a high-quality Webflow marketing site. Honestly, quite intense. That is probably the most detailed Webflow specific development checklist I have come across. I would recommend getting on that for every single client project. The next thing we have to talk about is Webflow components and properties. This is one of the biggest time-saving features you can possibly leverage in your Webflow project, so much so that I would recommend actually sitting down and reviewing the wireframes before you start building to map out what items are going to be components. Long story short, if you don't know components and you've been living under a rock in the Webflow community for the past year or two, basically, what they allow you to do is design a section on the website, and then you can save that section as a component, which is essentially a reusable element that can be used on multiple pages throughout the website. And if you edit it in one page, it will edit that section globally throughout the rest of the website. It may not seem like a huge deal, but honestly, even 3 or 4 years ago, most page builders and even in Webflow, this was not an option. There was a lot of hacks and workarounds to make it work, but now with components, it is super easy to reuse CTAs, hero sections, blog post grids, etc. throughout the website and have it have a consistent design on every single page. And recently, Webflow went ahead and massively upgraded the components to include properties. So now you can have a component-like section. So say, for example, this is a hero section, and in the hero section, we have a headline. What you can do is you can reuse that hero section, but make the headline a property. And so now you can dynamically change the headline per page while keeping the overall design consistent. So this just offers way more flexibility and really extends the functionality of the components. So absolutely be leveraging components. It is one of the biggest time savers you can possibly leverage inside of Webflow. Last, but certainly not least, is having an efficient process in place to get your clients' feedback during the development process and then being able to implement that feedback in a timely manner. So what I use is a tool called markup.io, which essentially adds Figma-like comment functionality to the live development site. This way, my client can just pull up the website in the markup link, and all they need to do is scroll through the website, and any feedback or questions or comments they want to make, all they got to do is click on the element they are referring to and then type in a comment and then post it. They can also give a screen recording to just live capture their thoughts. There's audio notes they can leave as well. And they're also able to preview what the design of the site looks like on tablet and mobile devices and leave comments for those breakpoints as well. So markup has been a total game changer for just getting feedback from my clients quickly. And then also once they leave a comment, there's like a comment thread, and then you can eventually check off the comment that they leave to basically signify that the task has been completed. So I know Webflow has their own native comment functionality now, but I just haven't used it because you need to be logged into the designer. Honestly, I just don't want my clients to be logged into the designer because then there's a potential that they could break something. Also, I don't even think my clients want to be in it because it's like a very confusing interface. So I've just been using Markup. It's free, so really no reason not to be using it. Long story short, having a tool in place that makes it super easy for your clients to leave detailed, clear feedback, and then for you to review that feedback, resolve it, present it to them, have them sign off on it, and then ultimately close out the task is going to be huge. All right, that's pretty much it for me in this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot of value out of it, whether you're a Webflow developer or whether you're a prospective client looking to vet Webflow agencies and or freelancers for a potential build you're considering. Before we wrap up here, if you have any questions or comments, then definitely leave them in the actual comment section here of YouTube, because I do make it a point to get back to any well-informed comment. And if you're a prospective client who's considering creating a new or redesigned website for their company, then definitely feel free to book a strategy call with me. Link in the description of this video. I'll take the time to learn about your business and your marketing goals by asking a series of questions in the first half of the meeting. And then in the second half of the meeting, based on everything you tell me, I will outline a website and digital marketing game plan to help your company achieve its lead generation and sales goals. So if that sounds helpful to you, then link in the description of this video. You can book time on my calendar. Until then, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep putting out more videos all about branding, web design, digital marketing, etc. So if you're a Webflow developer looking to level up the websites you're delivering for clients, there's going to be a ton of great content out here for you. And if you're a business owner or marketing director, there's still going to be plenty of content all about how to grow your business using various online marketing strategies and how to leverage your website as the ultimate marketing machine. So subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye.